Welcome back to Mountain Connections. Right now, we are going to change our focus to food, specifically cheese. We have Beehive Cheese with us. Katie Schall and Chef Heather are here to tell us all about some fun recipes that we can make for the big game, really any day. Who doesn't want cheese in our home? So, Katie, let's start with you. Tell me more about Beehive Cheese.
So Beehive Cheese, we started making cheese in 2005 up in Ogden, Utah. We're family owned and a family operated company and just making award-winning cheeses with red rinds on them.
And Chef Heather, welcome to the show. We're excited to meet you. Tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I have been with the company for about a year. I cook lunch for the employees. I do a lot of marketing things like create recipes for our website. So I'm excited to be with them.
And before we dig into these great recipes, Katie, how have things been going at Beehive Cheese? I know it's been tough for everyone during 2020, heading into 2021. But as a company, what has been happening? I know you've been helping others. You've been reaching out to those in need. So tell me a little bit about how things have been.
Yeah, so community and our staff is super important to us, and we've all pulled together to get through this very difficult time. One of our major focuses this year, well in 2020, and probably in part of 2021, is to really give back to the community. So we continue to donate our surplus cheeses to the Utah Food Bank, and this year in 2020, we did a project called Project Promontory, where we raised money so we could buy milk and support our dairy farmer and make cheese for the food bank and other local pantries. But we have all just banded together and just done our very best to get through this difficult time, and we're doing it. It's good.
And it's been inspiring to see a local company really come together and help those who very much need it during this tough time. Well, I think most people are aware there's a big football game coming up, and we love to have yummy food. So Chef Heather, tell me about some recipes that you have.
Well, I'm going to do a pork slider with our Parmesan sliced cheese. And the reason why I went with the pork tenderloin instead of, usually using beef is it's a smaller cut of meat, different flavors. So why not kick it up a little bit, right? So on that, and I'll just let you know, when you're using a pork tenderloin, one tip is I always like to make sure that you remove the silver skin on the pork before you cook it, just because that silver skin on that pork will make your meat really tough. So the recipe for this is on our blog, on our website. And I'm going to start out with just our tasty slaw, and I'm going to make the dressing for it. So in this bowl right here, I've got apricot preserves, honey, whole grain mustard. I'm going to mix in my spices, my seasonings in there. Oh, it's delicious. Yeah, I've got parsley, celery salt, garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika, and the same flavors that are in this slaw vinaigrette, I've also got on my pork tenderloin that I baked off. So in here, I've got some vegetable oil I'm going to add in. I've also got some cider vinegar. I'm going to put a little Worcestershire sauce in there.
Worcestershire, is that how you say it?
Worcestershire. I know that's a tough one for a lot of people, right? They don't know how to say it. So we're going to put that in there, a few little splashes of that. You can always put a little bit of your favorite hot sauce, a few splashes there. And then I'm also going to put in a little splash of bourbon. Now, of course, this is optional, and it is Basil Hayden's, which we rub on our Parmesan slice. All right, let's get that mixed up. So a lot of times when you're using apricot preserves, one thing I will mention that's a good tip to keep that, because sometimes it's hard to mix in just because it tends to be pretty solid. So just put it in your microwave for just maybe 10, 20 seconds, and that kind of softens it up so it's easier to mix in. So here I'm mixing in my dressing, and then we are going to apply that into our slaw. And in my bowl, I've got my cabbage, my carrots, my celery, red peppers, onions.
It's healthy. It's a healthy.
Oh yeah, it gives that nice little tang.
Yeah.
To that rich meat and a delicious rich cheese, right? Okay, toss that all together.
I have to say, it looks really, really good. And what a great idea if you're having just people watching a game, they can grab and go. So it also looks relatively easily once to get together, once you put all the ingredients in. Well,
Oh,
I guess you're going to tell us what's next, but it looks like a simple, fun recipe.
Yeah, it is. And since things are a little bit different right now with COVID, why not make some special small little bites for your family? Since, it's hard to get a big gathering together. So make these special little bites. All right, I've got my slaw all mixed. And over here, I've got my buns. And I've already sliced up my pork tenderloin. And you can serve this hot or cold. So if you want to cook that pork tenderloin the day of and do a hot slider, you can, or you can do it the day before and then just add everything on there. So.
Well, I have to ask Chef Heather, what's your preference? Do you prefer to eat it hot or cold, or really either way?
I like the pork a little warm because I think it kind of softens up that cheese a little bit. And then you've got that nice cold crisp slaw to go on top. I think it's a great combination. All right, so we are going to put down some of our pork.
Oh, that looks so good. A toasted bun too. You could probably toast that bun.
Absolutely,
if you wanted to.
absolutely.
Yeah. Just sounds like cook's preference.
Yeah, and a great place to find our cheese is you can find us at Smith's and Harmon's locally, but you can also find us online.
And we have a great game day pack, and it has the Pormia slice 12 ounce, our Promontory, which is named obviously after Promontory Point here in Utah, and our Big John's Cajun if your game day needs a little spice to it.
Yeah, and you can find some great recipes online that we've used with those cheeses as well. We've got a cheese ball, we've got a great Cajun chicken dip to go on there, so, and those will be great game day foods too.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm adding my slaw.
Oh, copious amounts of slaw, please.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You need that little ting in there. Okay.
And if you get fancy, you can put a little football pick in there.
Oh yes, I've got these super cute little football picks.
Yeah, your family will love you, pretty much.
Oh, I love it. Delicious. I could eat that for breakfast, really any time of day. And Katie, I'm curious.
Well, I think we're going to eat it for breakfast too.
Oh, if I were you, I would, absolutely. But Katie, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. I'm wondering, do you have a favorite type of cheese that's available at Beehive Cheese? I know it might be like picking your favorite child, but I just would love to hear your insider opinion on the one that you eat the most.
Honestly, it's Pormia slice. In my email footer, it really does say Pormia slice as my favorite. And I just really love that bourbon flavor on the rind of the cheese. It really has that great flavor to it. And yes, I would definitely say Pormia slice.
And Chef Heather, before we run out of time, any other ideas on fun things that we can make for this big game that's coming up?
On our website, I've got a great recipe with the Pormia slice. That is popcorn. You can use some shredded Pormia slice, melted butter, some bacon salt, or if you don't have bacon salt, just bits of bacon would be delicious on there, and some glazed honey nuts. So that's another great, easy recipe that you could put in together for the big game day.
Absolutely delicious. Well, thank you so much, Chef Heather and Katie Schall, for joining us today from Beehive Cheese. We definitely miss having you in studio. We all wish we could be eating that right now. But really fun to hear that you have some great recipes up on your website. Also, always enjoy hearing about how Beehive Cheese is supporting those in need during this tough time. We'll be back with more right after this.